All right, I want to talk through really quickly why I firmly believe that you should turn on self scheduling for your patients. I know that there's a lot of people out there, especially in primary care or in specialty care or in micro practices and solo practices, that think my patients will just mess it up. And I've heard that. I've sat around tables where people have said that. My patients will just mess it up if we allow them to self schedule. And there's a couple of reasons why I want you to say, okay, well, maybe I should consider self scheduling despite my preconceived bias that people will mess it up. Um, Here are some bookings. So these are from yesterday. Today's Monday. When I'm recording, this is Monday. These were Sunday bookings. If patients wouldn't have been able to book, they would have texted us, they would have called us, they would have left messages that we would have had to deal with either on our Sunday day off or on Monday morning trying to figure out what's going on and try and squeeze them in as needed. So just specific examples here, I'm going to switch to my little laser pointer and zoom on in. So here's an appointment that somebody booked at 8:37 at night, which means they were needing something at 8:37, and instead of calling, instead of going to urgent care, they just went on our website and booked for possible hand, foot, mouth. Does this need to come in? I don't know. That's a to be determined. But the patient, the parent, felt like they need to come in, they need to get something on the books, they want to be able to sleep easy knowing it's on the books, and so they were able to do that at 8:37 p.m. Now, what we can do if we have time tomorrow, like the next day, is check in and say, hey, what's going on here? Hand, foot, and mouth. Can you send us some pictures? Maybe we can save you the visit. But either way, this patient was happy to book an appointment and have the relief of knowing that they've got something on the books they can make it through tonight. Another one, just last night, Lindsay is this is not a HIPAA violation. She's a PA in our office. This is just saying who it's with. This appointment was made at 2:39 in the morning. They were up. They were worried about their child, but they didn't want to go to urgent care, the ER, or anything like that. But they also didn't want to have to remember in the morning, in the midst of the hub and bub of the day, to get something on the books. So they went online at 2:39 and booked an appointment. And now in the morning, they'll be able to get seen. Actually, their appointment isn't even until the afternoon. We can check in. We can see, hey, what's going on? I know actually that this patient that booked actually then went back online and moved their appointment to earlier in the day because they wanted to get in earlier. They did that all without us having to intervene or play text message back and forth or have them call or anything along those lines. And then the third is another one here, was booked at 6:36 this morning. So again, this they could have texted and then I would have had to either, get interrupted from my morning routine of getting the kids ready and out the door and everything like that. Or they would have had to try and play phone tag amongst all of the moving pieces of this family that has 3 young kids. They just went online and booked an appointment. And so what all this says to me is that your patients are able to do it. These were all legit acute bookings. We get so many well checks that are scheduled at like 11 p.m. at night. Parent remembers, instead of I got to put it on a to-do list, I got to call, that's going to add days, weeks to when they actually get it on the books. Instead, they're able to go online, find a time that works for them, book it, mentally check it off. It feels good for them. It saves us the hassle. It saves us the hubbub because yes, we could have certainly handled all these things. We could have texted back in the morning. We could have been, okay, let's squeeze you in now. But these were already taken care of. We came in and didn't have these 3 and a number of other appointments or patients that needed something that we had to then work around or figure out what's going on. They made those appointments and now we can, instead of like playing catch up with this one, we can say, hey, what's going on? Can you just send us some pictures? We might be able to save you from having to come in. If everything's okay and it looks like hand, foot, and mouth, here's what we would do. So if you have considered and haven't turned on self-scheduling, I want to know in the comments what's stopping you. What are you worried about? Especially if you have a small practice, if you have a small team, self-scheduling will save you so much back and forth. It will save you so many notifications of text messages back and forth. And I promise you, as somebody that has had over 4 years of self-scheduling, I can't think of a time where a patient inappropriately used self-scheduling when they didn't need an appointment, nor when they should have, called or something along those lines. Now, sometimes because we get the little heads up usually about what it was for, we can intervene and we can say, hey, do you really need to come in? But patients are never mad about having the opportunity to make an appointment, even if we then are able to say, hey, let me save you from driving in and the waking up from nap or whatever it might be. Here's what I think is going on. That's a value add rather than a subtraction. And so I would encourage you to self-schedule for yourself. You need self-scheduling, and your patients will love it too.